Previously on Caveman Only Episode 10. Okay, so here we go. This is the first ever time going to the Catacombs. Let's go. Pot up. Some gibberish. Read the statue. Maybe investigate the statue. And there we are, boys. Holy shit. Yo guys, what is up? This is Caveman Only and welcome to episode 11, the episode of Slayer, and more Slayer content. Episode 10 left off on a cliffhanger of me entering the catacombs, and finally after a 4-month break, I've unlocked the catacombs so I can complete this Anku task and get on with my life and my Slayer gains. There's a lot to cover in this episode. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have basically a montage in the background as I talk over it. But hopefully you enjoy, and let's go. Blue dragons. Fuck. Oh, shit. So, straight after my Anku task was finished, I went and got another task of blue dragons, which is less than desirable because technically I do have access to the brutal blue dragons in the catacombs. Now, obviously I don't have anti-fire potions or an anti-dragon shield, which I will never have. So these guys are going to fuck me up pretty bad. So I followed my boy Zaya product, Zaya only Ironman by the way, to the brutal blue dragons and took a shot at them. So I loaded up with meat pieces and prayer potions, which was digging into my Calphite Queen supplies, but I wanted to at least try. So here I am trying to take one of these guys down and see how many I could actually get in one trip. Now, the brutal blue dragons actually have a few things on their drop table that would be quite nice for me to get my hands on, including the blue dragonhide body and van braces, as well as the dragon med helm. This clip is sped up to 5 times speed in the background here, so you can kind of get an idea for how long just one kill actually takes. So as you might be able to tell, these are not the most ideal things for me to be training my Slayer on, considering that after an entire trip, this is the loot that I got. Pretty sad, right? So I went back for one more trip. I actually only got 1 kill this trip and got a dragon dagger, which kind of sucks. That could have been the D-med. So I bitched out and decided to finish the blue dragon task in the Taverlake dungeon. And to get there, I would minecart from Keldegrim to the tunnel underneath White Wolf Mountain, exit on the east side, and then trek from there above ground. So here's a humorous clip of me attempting to get there the very first time. Oh no, this is the Grand Exchange? No! That's not what I wanted! Account ruined! Panic, panic. Oh my god, account ruined. Get out. No! It didn't tell me what track to go from. Oh, that is so my fault, but it's really not my fault at the same time. So, yeah, that was a thing. Account ruined, etc., etc. But all jokes aside, now that amateur hour is over, it's time to really get started on the Blue Dragon grind. Let's go. Okay, so before all of the haters say, "Hey, you're not underground only, meh, account ruined, restart." Okay, this has been in my rules for over 6 months now. Here it is, take a look. I can complete any Slayer task as long as it's underground. It does require a bit of above ground travel, but I take the shortest route possible with the least amount of above ground travel, deal with it. So speaking of my Slayer rules, let's have a talk quickly about what exactly my Slayer rules entail, particularly the task list. Now, if you'll take a look at the task list on screen, it might be a little small because it's off to the side, but you'll notice a lot of the tasks on Vanika's Slayer list are grayed out for me. Now, that's because a lot of tasks are actually quest locked. For example, if you have not done Priest in Peril, it is not possible to be assigned any task located originally in the Slayer Tower. That means no Bloodvelds, no Specters, no Banshees, no Abyssal Demons, and so on. Now, a few other tasks that are quest locked that you might not realize are quest locked are Dust Devils, which require at least starting Desert Treasure, Dagonauts, which require Horror from the Deep, Spiritual Creatures actually require Death Plateau in order to get to God War's dungeon, and finally, you actually cannot be assigned Harpy Bugs unless you have 33 Firemaking to light the lantern. That means the only tasks that I cannot complete underground are Desert Lizards and Crocodiles. And now for a record-breaking attempt to see how many times I can actually ruin my account in one episode. Alright. Here we go, boys. Let's do it. Ruining the account for the greater good. Let's do it. So if you missed out on this on Reddit, basically somebody suggested that I complete this year's Halloween event in order to unlock the Spooky Boy white skin color for maximum immersionscape. So I threw up a straw poll, it got over 1,400 votes with a 95% yes, and I said, you know what, screw it, let's do it. Little did I know that he had dragon claws. Just kidding. Little did I know that this Halloween event would take so goddamn long. It was an okay event all in all, but it took me about an hour and a half with no guide and no spoilers. So I grabbed my reward, teleport straight to Falador, take out some cash from the bank, hop over the little low wall there west of the Falador Bank, get over to the Makeover Mage, petition to rename Makeover Mage to Grand Sex Change, by the way, and unlock my Spooky Boy white skin. Looks pretty awesome. Feels caveman. Okay, back to the Slayer content. So now you might be wondering what exactly I plan on doing with any Slayer points that I manage to accrue. First of all, if I get a task, Desert Lizards or Crocodiles, that I cannot do, and I have the points to skip the task, I must use the 30 points to skip the task. Aside from that, there are a few rewards that I'm after. In this order, the first of which is an individual Slayer ring to teleport to the Relica Slayer Cave instead of running there. The second, Superior Slayer. Number 3 on the list, Broad Bolt Fletching. Number 4, the ability to craft Slayer rings. And then finally, at 750 points, I want to unlock the Herb Sack for myself. So in the background there, you saw me making some jade necklaces and enchanting them into Necklaces of Passage. Now those have the option to take you to the Outpost, which is northwest of Artie. And from there, I book it east to the Chaos Druid Tower, pick the lock on the door, hop downstairs, and train on the ogres. Now, one of the interesting things about Slayer for my account is the fact that the Slayer tasks themselves are actually not that good for me. You'll see as I go through the montage in the background, most of the tasks are honestly pretty garbage. But it's getting the Slayer level that I need in order to kill the higher level Slayer monsters in the Catacombs, like the mutated Bloodvelds, Warped Jellies, the Abyssal Demons, Necreals, etc. Just not Desert Lizards or Crocodiles. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! What did I just say? Fucking Christ. And as you see here, unfortunately I do have to spend points on skipping tasks occasionally, but it's honestly pretty rare that I have to do that. Now, when it comes to purchasing things from the shop, like the Slayer Ring is the first thing I want to make sure that I have at least 60 points of cushion in the event that I get multiple tasks back to back that I have to skip. So here I am on a troll task, and coming in hot, we have level 50 Slayer, which means it's time for mutated Bloodvelds. Calfight Queen, KBD, DKs too. I might... Ooh, wow, that was fast. Holy shit. Only, what was that, 5 kills? Wow. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's fucking do it. Give me that strength amulet, bitches. Yes. Wow. Here also at the Mutated Bloodvelds, I managed to get a Rune Kite Shield, which is actually rare drop table, not the Mutated Bloodveld table, and also a nice Black Boot upgrade, which will be my best in slot until Mithril. Now, you may not recall this because it's been a while, but the reason that the Ruby Amulet into the Strength Amulet at Mutated Bloodvelds is such a big deal for me is because I actually don't have access to an amulet mold or to a bracelet mold. So, generally speaking, amulets and bracelets are the things that give offensive combat bonuses, and since I can only make rings and necklaces, the Amulet of Strength is a huge milestone for me because that's, an additional plus 10 strength bonus, so that's going to come in great handy both on Slayer tasks and also, especially, at the Cowfight Queen. Incoming is 45 Herblore, and here I am making my very first super attack potions. I'll be saving those until I get to KQ. And speaking of the Queen herself, you might be wondering when the hell I'm going to get back around to attempting to kill her again. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten, but as you might be able to tell from the first 10 minutes of this video, I've been working my ass off on Slayer. And the plan all along has been to train my combat stats via Slayer instead of what I did before, which was camping hill giants for about 100 hours. So I'd rather train through Slayer, that way I can get my Slayer level up in order to unlock some new gear upgrades for myself. Now, some of those I will have already achieved by the end of this video, but no spoilers here. But the one particular item that I'm going after now is from the Cure Asks at level 70 Slayer. I want the leaf-bladed battle axe. And the reason for that is the battle axe combined with the obsidian shield is going to have much higher strength bonus than the Obby Maul itself. So while I'll be sacrificing about 10 crush attack bonus on KQ, I actually want the greater strength bonus in order to increase my max hit. So I'm not quite there yet. I haven't forgotten though. I do want 80 attack and strength as well as probably 85 range. On top of that, more potions and food before I attempt her again. So it's coming. You just have to have faith in the process. Another big milestone coming in hot here with 55 Slayer. That means I have access to Turoths as well as the leaf-bladed equipment and the Slayer staff. So now that I'm 55 Slayer and 90 plus combat, the end game content on my account is quickly approaching, honestly. And you might be wondering what I'm going to do once I'm done with Cowfight Queen. And of course, there's the Fire Cape on deck, and then after that, I could go for the Obsidian Plate Armor and maybe attempt the Inferno if I feel so inclined. But, what else is there to do? And I haven't talked about this a whole lot, but I wanted to throw out a few ideas that I had for content in the future. As far as bossing goes, I'd like to explore the ideas of doing King Black Dragon for the Dragon Pickaxe and, of course, the awesome Prince Black Dragon Pet. Dagonoth Kings for all of the rings and the Dragon Axe. Skatizo in the Catacombs, of course, for the Onyx Drop and then really all of his supplies. And then for bossing content for Slayer, the Kraken boss, of course, for the Abyssal Tentacle and the Trident. Cerberus for the Primordial Crystal to attach to Dragon Boots if I ever get those. And he also drops a Black D'hide Body, which would be my best in slot. And finally, as far as bossing goes, I might even go as far as trying to learn solo raids, because literally anything from raids would be amazing for my account. And as far as all of those bosses go, they're going to require a bit of above ground travel. And as you've seen here in this video, I've already had to make several exceptions for Slayer in order to get to different caves. That way training Slayer is actually feasible for me. But I try and include as many of those clips as possible so you guys know that I'm not cheating, doing anything above ground that would be advantageous to my account. So I think that it could be cool to access some other places that take a bit more of above ground travel to get to, but it's going to open up so much more endgame content for me, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that as much as I am. And even beyond the bossing content, I also have some preliminary plans in the works, just doing a bit of theory crafting with a few of my longtime viewers. I might plan on training a few additional skills in the future as well, including construction and also rune crafting at ZMI. Rune crafting would be a one-off thing where I gather, like 100,000 essence or more and do it all in one go just to train the skill and to collect some more runes for myself to train magic. Now, construction has a lot more utility to me, but I won't go into too much detail about that now. I'll save that for another episode. Anyway, in the background here, you see me purchasing a Slayer ring, which is my first ever purchase with Slayer points, and that's the first item checked off the list. Holy shit. Let's go. 4 kills later. You have got to be shitting me right now. What the fuck is going on right now? Yeah, so that happened, which kind of sucks because, of course, that could have been a leaf-bladed sword because they're roughly the same rarity. And the leaf-bladed sword is actually going to be my best in slot sword over the obsidian sword. But anyway, Slayer is coming to a wrap here. I got an Anku task, and finally, the big milestone, 60 Slayer. So here are the items that I have either obtained or made for myself since the last update. Primarily the Amulet of Strength. Huge upgrade for my melee training, both for Slayer and, of course, off task. The Ring of Wealth is also pretty huge. Didn't luck out this time around getting the Dragon Spear or the D-Med Helm, but I know it'll come eventually. So that was a pretty big upgrade as well. I also purchased the Slayer Ring, which is incredible. That'll help me get to the Relica Slayer Cave with a lot more ease instead of running there. And then the Necklace of Passage, which I use to get to my Ogre tasks. quite a few upgrades in the magic department. I have 3 of the 4 battle staves from the set. I got the air battle staff from Twisted Banshees, the earth battle staff I created for myself, and I also got the fire battle staff from Fire Giants. The Slayer staff I purchased from Vanica's Slayer shop, which that's going to be quite useful in the future since it auto-casts Crumble Undead. I got the Black Robe top, which is from Anku's. That's currently my best in slot magic top, but hopefully that'll change in the near future. Back-to-back light Mystic Robe bottoms, so rip the Leaf-Bladed Sword, but that's all right. And we also got some Dark Mystic gloves. And then, of course, we got our Catacombs items here. We got the Incantation book from the Catacombs, some Ancient Shards, 2/3 of a Dark Totem, which would be my first one, several boot upgrades up to Mithril, which is my best in slot until Rune, and then finally the Leaf-Bladed Spear. Feels bad, man. Haven't gotten a Leaf-Bladed Sword yet. But all in all, the last 2 weeks have been quite successful, so these are all of my upgrades in the last 2 weeks. Now let's go take a look at the rest of the bank. So the first thing of note, of course, is the healthy-looking cash stack there. I plan on using most of that for fletching in the next episode. Need to get started on that Rune Crossbow grind. I've already showed you pretty much all of the items of note in the combat tab here. So looking at the magic tab, it's starting to look a lot healthier now that I've completed my 66 magic grind. So I'm going to save these runes up for a while. Don't really have any plans for magic at the moment. My food supply is getting quite low. I'm going to need to start working on cooking again in the next episode as well. So, of course, this episode was primarily Slayer and combat content, and the next one's probably going to be a lot more skilling content because I need to prepare, especially my food and potion supplies, for KQ. The swordfish, lobsters, and bass in particular, I've gotten through PVM and through Slayer. I'll be taking those to KQ as well, since those are going to be some of my best healing food, aside from the pizzas and the wines. The Herblore tab, I've made my very first super attack potions, which is quite nice. I'm very close to making my first super anti-poisons. That's right around the corner. I'll probably get that in the next episode. Moving on. The gem and ore tab, nothing too new here. I finally got my first regular battle staff from Twisted Banshees. That's how I upgraded to the earth battle staff. But yeah, nothing too new there. My collectible tab's looking quite nice. I have a few more ensouled heads that are new to the collection. Let's see. We've got this, the Fashionscape tab, nothing really too new there. And then finally, this is my Slayer tab. So this is basically trash loot at the bottom that I alch eventually. Dragon Dagger from Brutal Blues. A few boot upgrades, but those are the old upgrades. Up to over 300 Dragon Bones saved in the bank now. I'm going to save these for now because if you're familiar with my channel, you probably know that I've been contemplating the pros and cons of training construction in the future. So in case I ever train construction and decide to put an altar in my house, I'm going to save these bones because burying them just straight up makes me kind of sad inside. Anyway, that's the bank. Let's take a look at the stats now. Stats are looking quite juicy. I've gotten 30 Slayer levels since the last update. I'm up to 75 strength, 83 range, 54 prayer, 79 hit points. So, yeah, this entire episode has been almost 100% combat and Slayer focused. So that's where all of the gains are in this episode. The next episode, you can expect a lot more skilling, particularly herblore and cooking, because I got to get on that grind for the Cowfight Queen supplies. I do plan on grinding out until 70 Slayer so I can camp the Cuirasks for the Leaf-Bladed Sword and or Battle Axe. That way I can take the Battle Axe with the Obsidian Shield to the Cowfight Queen. Now that I've finally had the big unlock of the Catacombs with the 66 magic requirement, the content should be picking up speed a little bit. So instead of a month between episodes, it should only be about 2 weeks. So expect the next episode in about 2 weeks. Going to be a lot more Cowfight Queen preparation in that video, as well as a little bit more Slayer content, working on getting to level 70. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate you liking the video and subscribing so you don't miss out on any future Caveman grinds. Thank you all for watching this. I appreciate it greatly, and I will see you next time.